Hey buddies, Miss Pugga here, coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I want to show you guys the full power of our DLC for Lightspeed Peregrine Flak Build by running through the Guardian Takedown on Mayhem 10 without firing a single bullet. But real quick, let me do a brief summary of the build so we're all on the same page. The build uses the Peregrine class mod, which normally spawns one grenade when Rakk Attacks hit, but for some unknown reason, the Lightspeed grenade spawns 4 times when the Rakk hits. This is the only grenade that I know that has this weird interaction with this class mod. If you want a full explanation on the build, the gear, and the skill tree I use for this, click up here for that. The build stays the same since you last saw it, except I added the Unforgiven gun to my arsenal since the Lightspeed projectiles deal critical hits occasionally, and because of the Unforgiven's crit multiplier, it increases the damage exponentially when it manages to crit. The anointment we use on the Unforgiven gun is the action skill and 200% increased splash damage, which increases our Rakk damage and unsurprisingly our grenade damage. When we started the Guardian Takedown, I knew we were going to be facing flesh targets at the beginning, so we started with our Fire Lightspeed grenade with our Fire Old God shield equipped. We send out a couple of flaks and the grenades do the rest. They quickly start homing on the enemies and deal huge amounts of damage. It's very common to see around 40 million or higher damage with this, which makes mobbing a breeze. Next we get to the dreaded crystal phase where we start seeing Guardians. Due to their mix of shield and armor health bars, we usually switch our build over to our Shock Lightspeed grenade and Shock Old God. We also switch our racks over to Cryo elements since Cryo does extra damage to armor. We have no problem taking out the enemies here either, but the crystals take so long to charge I found myself getting overrun by the constantly regenerating numbers of the Guardians. I would quickly run out of grenades and charges from Rakk Attacks, and I wish they would buff the charge rate of the crystals because it's really not a fun mechanic at all. After a few moments we clear this phase, we easily dispose of the next room because of its structure allowing our Lightspeed grenades to easily bounce off the wall and hit the enemies more often. We quickly start approaching the first boss room. Knowing the boss would start with 2 huge armored health bars, I switched over to our corrosive Lightspeed grenade and Old God shield to optimize our damage, and unsurprisingly we clear each and every segment rather easily with using only one Rakk Attack. Once we hit the shielded health bars, we switch over to our shock variant and dispose of the boss easily. I'll gloss over the next few rooms since there aren't anything to sneeze at. The Fierce room after Anathemus, the Relentless, are primarily flesh enemies, and after that there's primarily Guardians again, so I just switch back and forth to our respective action skill traits and gear to have elemental advantage at all times. We had a fun 7 minutes of crystal charge time, and then we move on to the finale. The final boss has the same strategy as the last boss. We use corrosive gear during the first part and switch over to shock near the end. Due to the boss's sheer size of his health bar, it took more than one Rakk Attack this time to clear its segment, unless we were to get lucky with the crits. Otherwise it would take around 2, where the second Rakk Attack would deal almost overkill. After clearing each segment, we hid behind some pillars until the immunity phase was over and just rinse and repeat. The mobbing phase of the boss is very easy, but it did take longer than I wanted to since all the Guardians were spaced out. We destroy his precious Kool-Aid crystals and defeat the boss easily. And just like that, we completed the Guardian Takedown without using any guns with Flak. I'll link a save file down below for those of you who want to try it. And don't forget to check out the full explanation of the build so you can understand the ins and outs of the build. I'll link that down below as well. Alrighty buddies, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. More in a cave with a torch on a wall than a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.